Gentlemen of Verona by William Shakespeare. Woo! This show runs about 2 hours, 10 minutes with a 15-minute intermission, and we have just a couple announcements before we start. Take it away.
Restrooms can be found up the stairs in the library or down the path and across the street to the park restrooms. Please remember that our show is set in the year 1593, so silence your cell phones if you didn't already do so in 2007. Also, remember, no flash photography. It startles us actors.
Our wonderful director, Steve Beecroft, has seen fit to have actors making entrances from the stairway, does anybody ever enter on that? No. And you'll notice today, and there's actors that are going to be doing a scene over here. So we would like for you to please keep those areas clear of your feet and personal items, unless, of course, you would like to have an actor in your lap. And today we are featuring air conditioning, so we hope you enjoy that.
And I forgot this announcement yesterday, but it is very important, so I need to tell you all today. Emergency exits. I'm supposed to tell you where to go in an emergency. We're in a park, so just leave. With that said,
enjoy the show!
Oh, Verona's a wonderful city. There's art and friendly playground. But some simply can't wait to leave if they are off on the road to Milan.
One man is seeking his fortune, the other who wants him to stay. His love keeps him there in Verona, but fate might just draw him away.
Oh, Verona's a wonderful city. There's art and friendly playground. But some simply can't wait to leave if they are off on the road to Milan.
There's a woman who lives in Verona, and one from a Middle East man. They're symbols of honor and beauty, more constant and noble than man.
Oh, Verona's a wonderful city. There's art and friendly playground. But some simply can't wait to leave if they are off on the road to Milan.
your honors are shortage of nobles, but two steps above all the rest. He's chosen a fool for his daughter, but she knows the family is best.
Oh, Verona's a wonderful city. There's art and friendly paysan. But some simply can't wait to leave if they are off on the road to Milan.
For the road is well known for its outlaws, ruthless and vicious and mean. But some are all show and all bluster, violent at worst as you've seen.
Oh, Verona's a wonderful city. There's art and friendly paysan. But some simply can't wait to leave if they are off on the road to Milan.
The lesser folk dream about riches, they dream about life in the court.
For all of these fanciful dreamers, there is one place they always resort. Oh, Verona's a wonderful city. There's art and friendly paysan. But some simply can't wait to leave if they are off on the road to Milan.
Come, Proteus! Let us while away our last hour with some sport.
Oh, would you be schooled again?
Last night was but luck. Care to see if it'll strike again?
Well, if you insist.
Come. Ooh, good, but predictable.
Oh, predictable.
Aye, predictable.
Why would you give me a lesson?
Well, let me school you.
Oh, that was a bit close.
Oh, see, but it worked.
No more play.
Good. Mind if I use my left hand?
I'd really rather you didn't.
Well, get used to this appointment. Ooh. Oh, here comes Julia.
Oh, Mistress Julia.
Bravo, gentlemen. Most impressive.
My lady. I am in love, my friend. Oh, that you could feel this rapture.
Cease to persuade, my loving Proteus. Homekeeping youth have ever homely wits. Were not affection chains thy tender days to the sweet glances of thy honored love, I rather would entreat thy company to see the wonders of the world abroad than living dully, sluggardized at home, wear out thy youth with shapeless idleness. But since thou lovest, love still and thrive therein, even as I would when I to love begin.
Wilt thou be gone? Sweet Valentine, adieu. Think on thy Proteus, when thou comest across some rare noteworthy object in thy travel, wish me partaker in thy happiness when thou dost meet good hap, and in thy danger, if ever danger do environ thee, commend thy grievance to my holy prayers, and I'll be thy beadsman, Valentine.
And on a love book pray for my success?
Upon some book I love, I'll pray for thee.
To be in love, where scorn is bought with groans, coy looks with heart-sore sighs, one fading moment's mirth with 20 watchful, weary, tedious nights. 'Tis but a folly bought with wit, or I'll say wit by folly vanquished.
So by your circumstance you call me fool.
So by your circumstance I fear you'll prove.
'Tis love, you cavalat, I am not
Oh,
love.
love is your master, for he masters you, and he that's so yoked by a fool methinks should not be chronicled for wise. But wherefore waste thy time to counsel thee, that art a votary to fond desire. Once more, adieu. My father at the road expects my coming, there to see me shipped.
And thither will I bring thee, Valentine.
Sweet Proteus, no. Now let us take our leave. To Milan, let me hear from thee by letters of thy success in love. And what news else betideth here in absence of thy friend? And I likewise will visit thee with mine.
All happiness be chanced to thee in Milan.
As much to you at home. So farewell.
He, after honor hunts. I, after love. He leaves his friends to dignify them more. I lose myself, my friends, and all for love. Thou, Julia, thou hast metamorphosed me, made me neglect my studies, lose my time, war with good counsel, set the world at naught, made wit with musing weak, heart sick with thought.
Oh, Sir Proteus, save you? Saw you my master?
But now he parted hence to embark for Milan.
Oh, 20 to 1, then he is shipped already, and I have played the sheep in losing him.
Indeed, the sheep doth very often stray, and if the shepherd be a while away.
You conclude my master is a shepherd then, and I a sheep.
I do.
My horns are his horns, whether I wake asleep.
A silly answer, and fitting well a sheep.
This proves me still a sheep.
True, and thy master a shepherd.
Nay, that I can deny by a circumstance.
Shall go hard, but I'll prove it by another.
The shepherd seeks the sheep, but not the sheep the shepherd. But I seek my master, and my master seeks not me. Therefore, I am no sheep.
The sheep for fodder follow the shepherd for food follow not the sheep. Thou for wages follow thy master for wages follows not thee. Therefore, thou art a sheep.
Oh, such another proof will make me cry, bah!
Dost thou hear? Gavest thou my letter to Julia?
Oh, I, sir, I, a lost mutton, gave your letter to her, a laced mutton, and she, a laced mutton, gave me a lost mutton, nothing for my labor.
Here's too small a pasture for such store of muttons. Beshrew me, but you have a quick wit.
And yet it cannot overtake your slow purse.
Come, open the matter in brief. What said she?
Open your purse, that the money and the matter may be both at once delivered.
Well, sir, there's for thy pains. What said she?
Truly, sir, I think you'll hardly win her.
Why? Because thou perceive so much from her.
Nay, I could perceive nothing at all from her. Not so much as a ducat for delivering your letter and being so hard to me that brought your mind. I fear she'll prove as hard to you in telling your mind. Give her no token, but stones, for she is as hard as steel.
What? Said she nothing?
Nay, not so much as a take this for thy pains. Henceforth, carry your letters yourself. And so, I'll commend you to my master.
Now go, be gone! I must go send some better messenger. I fear my Julia would not read my lines, receiving them from such a worthless post!
But say, Lucetta, now we are alone. Wouldst thou then counsel me to fall in love?
Why, madam, so that you do not stumble unheedfully.
Of all the fair resort of gentlemen that every day with Parl encounter me, in thy opinion, which is worthiest love?
Please, you repeat their names, and I'll show you my mind according to my shallow, simple skill.
What thinkst thou of the fair Sir Nicolo?
As of a knight, well spoken, neat and fine, but were I you, oh, he never would be mine.
What thinkst thou of the rich Trentio?
Well, of his wealth, of himself, so.
What thinkst thou of the gentle Proteus?
Lord, now there's the one that pleases us.
How now? What means this passion at his name?
Oh, pardon, madam, but 'tis a passing shame that I, unworthy body as I am, should censure thus unlovely gentlemen.
Why not on Proteus as of all the rest?
Well, then thus, of many good, I think him best.
Your reason?
I have none other than a woman's reason. I think him so because I think him so.
And wouldst thou have me cast my love on him?
If you thought your love not cast away.
Oh, I would I knew his mind.
Pray, peruse this paper, madam.
To Julia. Say, from who?
That the contents will show.
Say who gave it thee?
Oh, Sir Valentine's page and sent, I think, from Proteus. He would have given it him yourself, but I, being in the way, did in your name receive it. Oh, pardon the fault, I pray.
Now, by my modesty, a goodly broker, darest thou presume to harbor wanton lines, to whisper and conspire against my youth? There. Take the paper. See it be returned, or else return no more into my sight.
To plead for love deserves more fee than hate.
Will you be gone?
That you may ruminate.
And yet I would I had o'erlooked the letter. It were a shame to call her back again and pray her to a fault for which I chid her. What fool is she that knows I am a maid and would not force the paper to my view, since maids in modesty say no to that which they would have the profferer construe? Fie, how wayward is this foolish love that like a testy babe will scratch the nurse and presently, all humbled, kiss the rod? How churlishly I chid Lucetta hence when willingly I would have had her here. How angrily I taught my brow to frown when inward joy enforced my heart to smile. My penance now is to call Lucetta back and ask remission for my folly past. What ho, Lucetta?
What would your ladyship?
It's near dinner time.
I would it were that you might kill your stomach upon your meat and not upon your maid. Oh!
What is't that you took up so gingerly?
Nothing.
Why didst thou stoop then?
To pick up a paper that I let fall.
And is that paper nothing?
Nothing that concerns me.
Well, then let it lie for those that it concerns.
Oh, madam, some love of yours hath writ to you in rhyme.
You, minion, are too saucy. Let's see this song.
Oh.
Here is a coil with protestation. This babble shall not henceforth trouble me. Go, get you gone, and let the papers lie. You would be fingering them to anger me.
She makes it strange. But she would be best pleased to be so moved by another letter.
Nay, would I were so angered with the same. Oh, hateful hands, to tear such loving words. Injurious wasps, to feed on such sweet honey and kill the peas that yield it with your stings. I'll kiss each several papered for amends. Look, here is writ, kind Julia. Unkind Julia, as in revenge of thy ingratitude, I throw thy name against the bruising stones, trampling contemptuously on thy disdain. And here is writ, love wounded Proteus. Poor wounded name. My bosom as a bed shall lodge thee till thy wound be thoroughly healed. And thus I seal it with a sovereign kiss. But twice or thrice was Proteus written down. Be calm, good wind, blow not a word away till I have found each letter in the letter, except mine own name, that some whirlwind bear unto a ragged, fearful hanging rock, and throw it thence into the raging sea. Lo, here in one line is his name twice writ. Poor, forlorn Proteus, passionate Proteus to the sweet Julia. That I'll tear away. Oh, and yet I will not, since so prettily he couples it to his complaining names. Thus will I fold them one upon another. Now, kiss, embrace, contend, do what you will.
Dinner is ready. And your father stays.
Well, let us go in.
I will take these to your chamber.
My heart will be ever grateful to thee.
Tell me, Pantina, what sad talk was that wherewith my brother held you in the cloister?
It was of your nephew Proteus, his nephew, your son.
Why, what of him?
Well, he wondered that your lordship would suffer him to spend his youth at home, while other men of slender reputation put forth their sons to seek preferment out. Some to the wars to try their fortune there, some to discover islands far away, some to the studious universities. For all these exercises, he said that Proteus, your son, was meet. And he did request me to importune you to let him spend his time no more at home, which would be a great impeachment to his age, in having known no travel in his youth.
Nor needs thou much importune me to that. Whereon this month I have been hammering. I have considered well his loss of time and how he cannot be a perfect man, not being tried and tutored in the world. Experience is by industry achieved and perfected by the swift course of time. Then tell me, whither were I best to send him?
I think your lordship is not ignorant how his companion, the youthful Valentine, attends the Duke in his royal court.
I know it well.
To good, I think your lordship sent him thither. Well, there shall he practice tilts and tournaments, hear sweet discourse, converse with noblemen, and be an eye of every exercise worthy of his youth and nobleness of birth.
I like thy counsel. Well hast thou advised, and that thou mayest perceive how well I like it, the execution of it shall be made known, even with the speediest expedition. I will dispatch him to the Duke's courts.
Tomorrow, may it please you, Don Alfonso, with other gentlemen of good esteem, are journeying to salute the Duke and to commend their service to his will.
With them shall Proteus go, and in good time. Now will we break with him.
Sweet love, sweet line, sweet life. Here is her hand, the agent of her heart. Here is her oath for love, her honored pawn. Oh, that our fathers would applaud our love and seal our happiness with their consent. Oh, heavenly Julia.
How now? What letter are you reading?
It please your lordship. This is a word or two of commendation sent from Valentine, delivered by a friend. It came from him.
Lend me the letter. Let me see what news.
There is no news, my lord, but he writes how happily he lives, how well beloved and daily graced by the Duke, wishing me with him, partner in his fortune.
And how stand you affected to his wish?
As one relying on your lordship's will and not depending on his friendly wish.
My will is something sorted with his wish. Muse not that I thus suddenly proceed, for what I will, and there an end. I am resolved that thou shalt spend some time with Valentinus in the emperor's court. What maintenance he from his friends receives, like support thou shalt have from me. Tomorrow be in readiness to go. Excuse it not, for I am peremptory.
My lord, I cannot be so soon provided. Please, you deliberate a day or two.
What thou wants shall be sent after thee. No more of stay. Tomorrow thou must go. Come on, Pantina, you shall be employed to hasten on his expedition.
Thus have I shunned the fire for fear of burning, and drenched me in the sea where I am drowned. I feared to show my father Julia's letter, lest he should take exception against my love, and with the vantage of mine own excuse hath he accepted much against my love. Oh, how this spring of love resembleth the uncertain glory of an April day, which now shows all the beauty of the sun, and by a cloud takes all away.
Sir Proteus, your father calls for you.
This it is. My heart accords thereto, and yet 1,000 times it answers no.
He is in haste, therefore I pray you go.
Move!
Sir, your glove!
Not mine, I have no gloves.
This may be yours, for 'tis but one.
Oh, let me see. Aye, give it me. It's mine. Sweet ornament that decks a thing divine. Oh, Sylvia, Sylvia.
Madam Sylvia! Madam Sylvia!
How now, Sirrah?
Why, she's not within hearing, sir.
Why, boy, who bade you call her?
Why, your worship, or else I mistook.
Well, you'll still be too forward.
Why, yet I was last chidden for being too slow.
Go to, boy. Tell me, do you know Madam Sylvia?
She whom your worship loves.
Why, how know you that I am in love?
What, marry, sir, by these special marks, you have learned, like Sir Proteus, to wreathe your arms like a malcontent, to relish a love song like a robin redbreast, to walk alone like one that has the pestilence, to sigh like a schoolboy who's lost his ABCs, to fast like one who takes diet. Well, you were wont, when you laughed, to crow like a cock, and when you walked, to walk like one of the lions. When you fasted, it was presently after dinner, and when you looked sadly, it was for want of money, and now you are metamorphosed with a mistress that when I look on you, I can hardly think you my master.
Are all these things perceived in me?
Oh, sir, they shine through you like the water in a urinal.
But tell me, dost thou know my lady Sylvia?
Oh, she whom you gaze on so as she sits at supper.
Hast thou observed that? What? Even she, I mean.
No, sir, I know her not.
Dost thou know her by my gazing on her, and yet knowst her not? Her beauty is exquisite, but her favor infinite.
Well, that is because the one is painted and the other out of all count.
How painted and how out of count?
Oh, marry, sir, so painted to make her fair that no man counts of her beauty.
How esteem'st thou me? I account of her beauty.
Well, you never saw her since she was deformed.
Well, how long has she been deformed?
Well, ever since you loved her.
I've loved her ever since I saw her, and still I see her beautiful.
Well, if you love her, you cannot see her.
Why?
Because love is blind. Oh, that you had mine eyes, or that your own eyes had the sights that they were wont to have when you chid at Sir Proteus for going ungartered.
What should I see then?
Well, your own present folly and her passing deformity. For he, being in love, could not see to garter his hose, and you, being in love, could not see to put on your hose.
See, like boy, then you are in love.
Oh.
For last morning, you could not see to wipe my shoes.
Ah, marry sir, I was in love with my bed. I thank you. You swinged me for my love. It makes me the bolder to chide you for yours.
In conclusion, I stand affected to her.
I would you were set, so your affection would cease.
Last night, she enjoined me to write some lines to one she loves.
And have you?
I have.
Oh, are they not lamely
No,
writ?
boy, but as well as I can do them. Peace. Here she comes.
Ooh, excellent motion. Exceeding puppet. Now will he interpret to her.
Madam and mistress, 1,000 good morrows.
Ooh, give ye a million manners.
Sir Valentine and servants, to you 2,000.
He should give her interest, and she gives it him.
As you enjoined me, I have writ your letter unto the secret nameless friend of yours, which I was much unwilling to proceed in, but for my duty to your ladyship.
I thank you, gentle servant. "'Tis very clerkly done."
Now, trust me, madam, it came hardly off. For being ignorant to whom it goes, I writ at random, very doubtfully.
Perchance you think too much of so much pains.
No, madam. So instead you, I will write. Please you, command 1,000 times as much. And yet,
A pretty period. Well, I guess the sequel. And yet, I will not name it. And yet, I care not. And yet, take this again. And yet, I thank you, meaning henceforth to trouble you no more.
And yet you will. And yet another yet.
What means your ladyship? Do you not like it?
Yes, yes. The lines are very quaintly writ, but since unwillingly, take them again. Nay, take them.
Madam, they are for you.
You writ them, sir, at my request, but I will none of them. They are for you. I would have had them writ more movingly.
Please you. I'll write your ladyship another.
And when it's writ, for my sake, read it over. And if it please you, so. If not, why so?
If it please me, madam, what then?
If it please you, take it for your labor. And so, good morrow, servant.
Just unseen, inscrutable, invisible as the nose on a man's face or the weathercock on a steeple. My master sues to her, and she hath taught her suitor, he being her pupil, to become her tutor. Excellent device. Was there ever heard a better than my master, being scribe, to himself should write the letter?
How now, boy? What? Are you reasoning with yourself?
Nay, sir, I was rhyming. 'Tis you that had the reason.
To do what?
Well, to be a spokesman from Madame Sylvia.
To whom?
What, to yourself? Why, she woos you by a figure.
What figure?
By a letter, I should say.
But she hath not writ to me.
What need she when she hath made you write to yourself? Oh, do you not perceive the jest?
No, believe me.
No believing you indeed, sir. But do you not perceive her earnest?
She gave me none except an angry word.
She hath given you a letter.
That's the letter I writ to her friend.
And that letter hath she delivered, and there's an end.
I would it were no worse.
Ah, I warrant you 'tis as well. For often hath you writ to her, and she in modesty, or else for lack of idle time, could not again reply, or fearing else some messenger that might her mind discover, herself hath taught her love himself to write unto her lover. Oh, All this I speak in print, for in print I found it. Yes! I muse you, sir, 'tis supper time.
I have dined.
Ah, well, hearken. While the chameleon love can feed upon the air, I am one who is nourished by my victuals and would fain have meat. Ah, be not like your mistress, sir. Be moved. Be moved.
Where is the love I thought I knew? Where is he now? Gone like the dew. What's to become of all our dreams? Drifting away, flowers on a stream.
Have patience, gentle Julia.
I must where there is no remedy.
When possibly I can, I will return.
If you turn not, you will return the sooner. Keep this remembrance for thy Julia's sake.
Why then, we'll make exchange. Here, take you this.
And seal the bargain with a holy kiss.
Here is my hand for my true constancy. And when that hour or slip me in the day wherein I sigh not, Julia, for thy sake, the next ensuing hour some foul mischance torment me for my love's forgetfulness.
Proteus!
My father stays my coming. Answer not. The tide is now. Nay, not thy tide of tears. That tide will stay me longer than I should. Julia, farewell. What, gone without a word? Aye. So true love should do. It cannot speak, for truth hath better deeds than words to grace it.
Sir Proteus, you are stayed for.
Go, I come! I come. Alas, this parting strikes poor lovers dumb.
It will be this hour, and I have done weeping. All the kind of launces have this very fault. I have received my proportion like the prodigious sun, and am going with Sir Proteus to the Imperial's court. I think Crab, my dog, be the sourest natured dog that lives. My mother weeping, my father wailing, my sister howling, the nurse crying, the cat wringing her hands, and the whole house in a great perplexity. Yet did not this cruel hearted cur shed one tear. He is a stone, a very pebble stone, and hath no more pity in him than a dog. Nay, no, yeah, anyone would have wept to have seen our parting. Why, my grandam, look you, having no eyes, wept herself blind at our parting. Nay, I'll show you the manner of it. Now, this shoe is my father. Now, this left shoe is my father. No, that cannot be so neither. This left shoe is my mother. No. Aye, it is. It hath the worse a soul. This shoe with the hole in it is my mother. And this is
my father. There. Now, this staff is my sister. For look you, she's as white as a birch and as narrow as a wand. This hat shall be Nan, our maid, and I am the dog. No, that dog is himself. And I am the dog, and the dog is me. Oh, I will. Bear vengeance on it. Now come I to my father. Father, your blessing. He says not a word for weeping. Now kiss I my father. Oh, well, weeps on. Now come I to my mother. She says not a word for sighing. Now kiss I my mother. Oh, why, there it is. There's my mother's breath up and down. Now come I to my sister. Listen to the moan she made. Now the dog all this while says not a word, nor sheds a tear. And look how I lay the dust behind.
Lost! Shoot! Away! Away! Aboard! Thy master is shipped, and thou art to post after him. What's the matter? Why weepest thou, man? Away, ass! You lose the tide if you tarry any longer.
Oh, what care? Lose the tide. It is the unkindest tide that ever man tied.
What's the unkindest tide?
Yeah, well, he that's tied and tangled here.
Tut, man! I mean thou lose the flood.
Huh?
Losing the flood, lose thy voyage. And losing thy voyage, lose thy master. And losing thy master, lose thy service. And in losing thy service, why dost thou stop my mouth?
For fear thou should lose thy tongue.
Where should I lose my tongue?
In thy tail?
In thy tail.
What care lose up. What care lose the tide or the lose all? If the river were dry, I could fill it with my tears.
Oh.
If the wind were down, I could drive the boat with my sigh.
Oh, come away, man. I was sent to call thee.
Call me what thou darest.
Wilt thou?
Oh, I will go.
Servant?
Mistress.
Servant, you are sad.
Indeed, madam, I seem so.
Oh, seem you that you are not?
Happily, I do.
Oh, so do counterfeits.
So do you.
Ooh,
What? See my that I am not.
Wise?
What instance of the contrary?
Your folly!
Oh, and how quote you my folly?
I quote it in your jerkin.
My jerkin is a doublet.
Why then I'll double your folly.
How?
Oh, what? Angry, Sir Thurio? Do you change color?
Give him leave, madam. He is a kind of chameleon.
Well, one that hath more mind to feed on your blood than live on your air.
Oh, you've said, sir.
Aye, sir, and am done too, for the time being.
I know it well, sir. You always end ere you begin.
A fine volley of words, gentlemen, and quickly shut off.
'Tis indeed, madam. We thank the giver.
Who's that, servant?
Yourself, sweet lady, for you gave the fire. Sir Thurio borrows his wit from your ladyship's looks, and spends what he borrows kindly in your company.
Sir, if you shall spend word for word with me, I shall make your wit bankrupt.
I know it well, sir. You have an exchequer of words, and I think no other treasure to give your followers. For it appears by their bare liveries that they live by your bare words.
Have done, gentlemen, have done. Here comes my father.
Now, daughter Sylvia, you are hard beset. Sir Valentine, your father's in good health. What say you to a letter from your friends of much good news?
My lord, I will be thankful to any happy messenger from thence.
Know ye Don Antonio, your countryman?
Aye, my good lord, I know the gentleman to be of worth and worthy estimation, and not without desert so well reputed.
Hath he not a son?
Aye, my good lord, a son that well deserves the honor and regard of such a father.
Do you know him well?
I knew him as myself. For from our infancy we have conversed and spent our hours together, and though myself have been an idle truant, omitting the sweet benefit of time to clothe mine age with angel-like perfection, yet hath Sir Proteus, for that's his name, made use and fair advantage of his days. His years, but young, but his experience old. His head unmellowed, but his judgment ripe, and in a word, for far behind his worth comes all the praises I now bestow. He's complete, in feature and in mind, with all good grace to grace a gentleman.
Beshrew me, sir, but if he make this good, he is as worthy of an empress' love as meet to be an emperor's counselor. Well, sir, this gentleman is come to me with commendation from great potentates, and here he means to spend his time a while. I think 'tis no unwelcome news to you.
Should I have wished a thing, it had been he.
Welcome him then, according to his worth. Sylvia, I'd speak to you. For Valentine, we need not cite him to it. I'll send him hither to you presently. Sir Thurio.
Proteus is the gentleman I told your ladyship had come along with me, but that his mistress did hold his eyes locked in her crystal looks.
Belike she hath enfranchised them upon some other pawn for fealty.
Nay, sure, I think she holds them prisoners still.
Nay, then he should be blind, and being blind, how could he see his way to seek out you?
My lady, love hath 20 pair of eyes.
Ah, here comes the gentleman.
Welcome! Dear Proteus! Mistress, I beseech you, confirm his welcome with some special favor.
His worth is warrant his welcome hither, if this be he you oft have wished to hear from.
Mistress, it is. Sweet lady, entertain him, to be my fellow servant to your ladyship.
Too low a mistress for so high a servant?
Not so, sweet lady, but too mean a servant to have the look of such a worthy mistress.
Leave off discourse of disability. Sweet lady, entertain him for your servant.
Oh, my duty will I boast of, nothing else.
And duty never yet did want his meed. Servant, you are welcome to a worthless mistress.
I'll set on him that says so but yourself,
That you are welcome.
that you are worthless.
Madam! Oh, my lord, your father would speak with you.
I I wait upon his pleasure. Once more, new servant, welcome. I'll leave you to confer of home affairs. When you have done, we look to hear from you.
We'll both attend upon your ladyship.
Now, tell me, how do all from whence you came?
Your friends are well and commend themselves to you.
And how do yours?
I left them all in health.
How does your lady? And how thrives your love?
My tales of love were wont to weary you. I know you joy not in a love discourse.
Aye, Proteus, but that life is altered now. No, I have done penance for contemning love, whose high imperious thoughts have punished me with bitter fasts, with penitential groans, with nightly tears and daily heart-sore sighs. For, in revenge of my contempt of love, love hath chased sleep from my enthralled eyes, and made them watchers of mine own heart's sorrow. Oh, General Proteus, love's a mighty lord, and hath so humbled me, as I confess, there is no woe to his correction, nor to his service, no such joy on earth. Now, no discourse, except it be of love. Well, now can I break my fast, dine, sup, and sleep upon the very naked name of love.
Enough. I read your fortune in your eye. Is this the idol you worship so?
Even she, and is she not a heavenly saint?
No.
Oh.
But she is an earthly paragon.
Call her divine.
I will not flatter her.
Oh, flatter me, for love delights in praises.
When I was sick, you gave me bitter pills, and I must minister the light to you.
Well, then speak truth by her. If not divine yet, let her be a principality, sovereign to all the creatures on the earth.
Except my mistress?
Oh, sweet, except not any. Except thou wilt accept against my love.
Have I not reason to prefer mine own?
And I will help thee to prefer her too. Oh, she shall be dignified with this high honor, to bear my lady's train, lest the base earth should from her vesture chance to steal a kiss.
Why, Valentine, what braggartism is this?
Pardon me, Proteus. All I can is nothing to her whose worth makes other worthies nothing. She is alone, the
Then
worth.
let her alone.
Not for the world. Why, man, she is mine own, and I as rich in having such a jewel as 20 seas. If all the sand were pearl, though the water, nectar, and the rocks pure gold. Forgive me that I do not dream on thee, because thou seest me dote upon my love. Oh, my foolish rival, that her father likes only for his possessions are so huge, is gone with her along, and I must after for love, thou knowst, is full of jealousy.
But she loves you.
Aye, and we are betrothed, nay, more. Our marriage hour, with all the cunning manner of our flight determined of. How I must climb her window, the ladder made of cords, and all the means plotted and agreed on for my happiness. Good Proteus, go with me to my chamber in these affairs, to aid me with thy counsel.
Go on before, I'll soon after. I must into the road to disembark some necessaries I needs must use, and then I'll presently attend you.
Will you make haste?
I will. Even as one heat another heat expels, or as one nail by strength drives out another, so the remembrance of my former love is by another object quite forgotten. Is it mine eye or Valentine's praise? Her true perfection or my false transgression to make me reasonless, to reason thus? She is fair, and so is Julia that I love, that I did love. For now, my love is thawed, which like a waxen image against a fire bears no impression of the thing it was. Methinks my zeal to Valentine is cold, and I love him not as I was wont. Oh, but I love his lady too much, and that's the reason I love him so little. Well, how shall I dote on her with more advice, that thus, without advice, begin to love her. 'Tis but her picture I have yet beheld, and that hath dazzled my reason's light. But when I look on her perfections, there is no reason, but I shall be blind. If I can check my erring love, I will. If not, to compass her, I'll use my skill.
By mine honesty, lads! Welcome to Milan!
Oh, forswear not thyself, sweet youth, for I am not welcome. I hold this oath, that a man is never undone until he be hanged, and never welcome to a place until some certain coin be paid, and the hostess cry, welcome!
How come, you madcap? I'll to the alehouse with you presently. Woo, and for one shot of 5 pence, thou shalt have 5,000 welcomes. But tell me, how did thy master part with Madame Julia? Woo!
After they closed in earnest, they parted fairly in jest.
Oh, but tell me, will she marry him?
No,
Well, will he marry her?
no, neither.
Are they broken?
No, they are both as whole as a fish.
How stands the matter with them?
I tell thee, when it stands well with him, it stands well with her.
Oh, thou fool, I understand thee not.
Oh, block thou art that thou canst not. My staff understands me.
What thou sayest.
Aye, and what I do too. Look thee, I'll but lean. My staff understands me.
Oh, it stands under thee indeed.
Stand under, understand, 'tis all one.
Oh, but tell me, will it be a match?
Ask my dog, Crab.
Oh.
If he says aye, it will. If he says nay, it will. If he says nothing, and shags his tail, it will.
Oh, in conclusion then, it will.
Thou shalt never get such a secret from me, except by Rabelais.
Oh, well, 'tis well I get it so. But tell me, what say you? My master is become a notable lover.
I never knew him otherwise.
Well, then how?
A notable lubber, as thou reportst him to be.
Thou horse and ass, thou mistakest me.
Why, fool, I meant not thee. I meant thy master.
Oh, I'll tell you, my master is become a hot lover.
Oh, I tell thee, I care not. No, he burn himself in love. Come, wilt thou go with me to the alehouse? Yeah.
At thy service? Wait for me.
To leave my Julia, shall I be forsworn? To love fair Sylvia, shall I be forsworn? To wrong my friend, I shall be much forsworn. And even that power which gave me first my oath provokes me to this threefold perjury. Love bade me swear, and love bids me forswear. Oh, sweet suggesting love, if thou hast sinned, teach me, thy tempted subject, to excuse it. At first, I did adore a twinkling star, and now I worship a celestial sun. Unheedful vows may heedfully be broken, and he wants wit that once resolved to exchange the bad for better. Fie, unreverend tongue, to call her bad, whose sovereignty so oft thou hast preferred with 20,000 soul-confirming oaths. I cannot cease to love, and yet I do. Julia, I lose. And Valentine, I lose. If I keep them, I needs must lose myself. I, to myself, am dearer than a friend, for love is still most precious in itself. I will forget that Julia is alive, remembering that my love to her is dead. And Valentine, I'll hold an enemy, aiming at Sylvia as a sweeter friend. I cannot now prove constant to myself without some treachery used to Valentine. This night, he meaneth with a corded ladder to climb celestial Sylvia's chamber window, myself, in counsel, his competitor. Now presently, I'll notify the Duke of their disguising and pretended flight, who, all enraged, will banish Valentine, for Thurio he intends shall wed his daughter. Valentine being gone, I'll quickly cross, by some sly trick, blunt Thurio's dull proceeding. Love, lend me wings to make my purpose swift, as thou hast lent me wit to plot this drift.
Gentle girl, assist me, and even in kind love I do conjure thee, who art the table wherein all my thoughts are visibly charactered and engraved, to lesson me, and tell me some good mean how with my honor I may undertake a journey to my loving Proteus.
Alas, the way is wearisome and long.
A true devoted pilgrim is not weary to measure kingdoms with his feeble steps. Much less shall she that hath love's wings to fly. And when the flight is made to one so dear, of such divine perfection as Sir Proteus.
It is better forbear till Proteus make return.
Oh, know you not, his looks are my soul's food. Pity the dearth that I have pined in by longing for that food so long a time. Didst thou but know the inly touch of love, thou wouldst as soon go kindle fire with snow, as seek to quench the fire of love with words.
I do not seek to quench love's hot fire, but qualify the fire's extreme rage, lest it should burn beyond the bounds of reason.
The more thou damn'st it up, the more it burns. The current that with gentle murmur glides, thou know'st being stopped, impatiently doth rage. But when his fair course is not hindered, he makes sweet music with the enameled stones. Giving a gentle kiss to every sedge, he overtaketh in his pilgrimage. And so, by many winding nooks, he strays with willing sport the wild ocean. Then let me go, and hinder not my course. I'll be as patient as a gentle stream, and make a pastime of each weary step, till the last step have brought me to my love. And there I'll rest, as after much turmoil a blessed soul doth in Elysium.
But in what habit will you be going?
Not like a woman, for I would prevent the loose encounters of lascivious men. Gentle Lucetta, fit me with such weeds as may beseem some well-reputed page.
Why, then your ladyship must cut your hair.
Nay, girl, I'll knit it up in silken strings with 20-odd conceited true love's knots. To be fantastic may become a youth of greater time than I shall show to be.
In what fashion, madam, shall I make your breeches?
Why, in what fashion thou best likes, Lucetta.
Your ladyship must needs have a codpiece.
Out, Lucetta, that will be ill-favored.
Now, madam, a round hose is not worth a pin, unless you have a codpiece to stick pins on.
Now, as thou lovest me, let me have what thou thinkst meet and is most mannerly. But tell me, wench, how will the world repute me for undergoing so unstayed a journey? I fear me it will make me scandalized.
If you think so, then stay and go not.
Nay, that I will not.
Then never dream on infamy, but go. If Proteus like you when you come, no matter who's displeased when you are gone, but I fear me he will be scarce pleased withal.
That is the least, Lucetta, of my fear. 1,000 oaths, an ocean of his tears, and instances of his infinite love warrant me welcome to my Proteus.
All of these are servants to deceitful men.
Base men that use them to base effect. But truer stars did govern Proteus' birth. His words are bonds, his oaths are oracles, his love sincere, his thoughts immaculate, his tears pure messengers sent from his heart as far from fraud as heaven from earth.
Pray heaven he prove so when you come to him.
Now as thou lovest me, do him not that wrong to bear a hard opinion of his truth. Only deserve my love by loving him. And presently, go with me to my chamber to take a note of what I stand in need of to furnish me on my longing journey. All that is mine, I leave at thy dispose. My goods, my lands, my reputation. Only in lieu thereof, dispatch me hence. Come, answer not, but to it presently. I am impatient of my
Sir Thurio, give us leave, I pray, a while. We have some secrets to confer about. Now tell me, Proteus, what's your will with me?
My gracious lord, that which I should discover, the law of friendship bids me to conceal. But when I think on your gracious favors done to me, undeserving as I am, my duty pricks me on to utter that which else no worldly good should draw from me. No, worthy prince, Sir Valentine, my friend, this knight intends to steal away your daughter. Myself am one made privy to the plot. I know you have determined to bestow her on Thurio, whom your gentle daughter hates, and should she thus be stolen away from you, it would be much vexation to your age. Thus, for my duty's sake, I rather chose to cross my friend in his intended drift, than by concealing it, heap on your head a pack of sorrows which would press you down, being unprevented, to your timeless grave.
Proteus, I thank thee for thine honest care, which to requite command me while I live. This love of theirs myself have often seen, happily when they have judged me fast asleep, and oftentimes have purposed to forbid Sir Valentine her company and my court. But fearing lest my jealous aim might err, and so unworthily disgrace the man, a rashness that I ever yet have shunned, I gave him gentle looks, thereby to find that which thyself hast now disclosed to me. And that thou mayest perceive my fear of this, knowing how tender youth is soon suggested, I nightly lodge her in an upper tower, the key whereof myself have ever kept, and thence she cannot be conveyed away.
No, noble lord, they have devised a mean how he her chamber window will ascend, and with a corded ladder fetch her down. For which the youthful lover now is gone, and this way comes he with it presently, where, if it please you, you may intercept him. But good my lord, do it so cunningly that my discovery be not aimed at, for love of you, not hate unto my friend, hath made me publisher of this pretense.
By mine honor, he shall never know I had any light from thee of this.
Adieu, my lord. Sir Valentine is coming.
Sir Valentine, whither away so fast?
Please it your grace, there is a messenger that stays to bear my letters, and I am going to deliver them.
Be they of much import?
The tenor of them doth but signify my health and happiness, being at your court.
Nay then, no matter. Stay with me a while. I am to break with thee of some affairs that touch me near, wherein thou must be secret. 'Tis not unknown to thee that I have sought to match my friend Sir Thurio to my daughter.
I know it well, my lord, and sure, the match were rich and honorable. Besides, the gentleman is full of virtue, bounty, worth, and qualities beseeming such a wife as your fair daughter. Cannot your grace win her to fancy him?
No. Trust me, she is peevish, sullen, proud, disobedient, stubborn, lacking duty, neither regarding that she is my daughter, nor fearing me as if I were her father. And may I say to thee, this pride of hers, upon advice, hath drawn my love from her. And where I thought the remnant of mine age should have been cherished by her childlike duty, I now am full resolved to take a wife, and turn her out to who will take her in. Then let her beauty be her wedding dower. For me and my possessions she esteems not.
What would your grace have me to do in this?
There is a lady of Verona here whom I affect, but she is nice and coy, and not esteems my aged eloquence. Therefore would I have thee to my tutor. For long ago I have forgot to court. Besides, the fashion of the time is changed. How and which way I may bestow myself to be regarded in her sun-bright eye.
Win her with gifts if she respect not words. Dumb jewels, often in their silent kind, more than quick words to move a woman's mind.
But she did scorn a present that I sent her.
A woman sometimes scorns what best contents her. Send her another. Never give her o'er. For scorn at first, makes after love the more. If she do frown, it is not in hate of you, but rather to beget more love in you. Take no repulse, whatever she doth say, for get you gone, she doth not mean away.
But she, I mean, is promised by her friends unto a youthful gentleman of worth, and kept severely from resort of men, that no man hath access by day to her.
Why then I would resort to her by night.
Aye, but the doors be locked, and keys kept safe, that no man hath recourse to her by night.
May one enter at her window?
Her chamber is aloft, far from the ground, and built so shelving that one cannot climb it without apparent hazard of his life.
Why then, a ladder quaintly made of cords, to cast up, with a pair of anchoring hooks would serve to scale another hero's tower. So a bold Leander would adventure it.
Now, as thou art a gentleman of broad, tell me where I may have such a ladder.
When would you use it? Pray, sir, tell me that.
Oh, this very night. For love is like a child who longs for everything that he can come by.
By 7 o'clock, I'll get you such a ladder.
Hark thee, I will go to her alone. How shall I best convey the ladder thither?
It will be light, my lord, that you may bear it under a cloak that is of any length.
A cloak such as thine will serve the turn?
Aye, my good lord.
Oh, well, let me see thy cloak. I'll get me one of such another length.
Why, any cloak will serve the turn, my lord.
How shall I fashion me to wear a cloak? Let me feel thy cloak upon thee. What letter is this? What's here? To Sylvia. I'll be so bold to break the seal for once. My thoughts do harbor with my Sylvia nightly, and slaves they are to me that send them flying. Oh, could their master come and go as lightly, himself would lodge where senseless they are lying. My herald thoughts in thy pure bosom, rest them, while I their king, that hither them importune, do curse the grace that with such grace hath blessed them. Because myself do want my servants' fortune, I curse myself that they are sent by me, that they should harbor where their lord should be. What's here? Sylvia, this night I will enfranchise thee. 'Tis so. And here's the ladder for the purpose. Why, Phaeton, for thou art Merop's son, wilt thou aspire to guide the heavenly car and with thy daring folly burn the world? Wilt thou reach stars because they shine on thee? Go, base intruder, overwinning slave, bestow thy fawning smiles on equal mates, and think my patience more than thy desert is privilege for thy departure hence. Thank me for this, more than for all the favors which all too much I have bestowed on thee. But if thou linger in my territories longer than swiftest expedition will give thee time to leave our royal court, by heaven, my wrath shall far exceed the love I ever bore my daughter or thyself.
My lord,
Be gone! Gone. I will not hear thy vain excuse. But as thou lovest thy life, make speed from hence.
And why not death? Rather than living torment. To die is to be banished from myself, and Sylvia is myself. Banished from her is self from self, a deadly banishment. What light is light if Sylvia be not seen? What joy is joy if Sylvia be not by? Unless it be to think that she is by, and feed upon the shadow of perfection. Except I be by Sylvia in the night, there is no music in the nightingale. Unless I look on Sylvia in the day, there is no day for me to look upon. She is my essence. I leave to be if I be not by her fair influence fostered, illumined, cherished, kept alive. I fly not death to fly his deadly doom. I tarry I here, I but attend on death. But fly I hence. I fly away from life.
Run and seek it out. What seest thou?
Him we go to find. 'Tis nor hair on head, but 'tis a Valentine.
Valentine?
No,
Who then, his spirit?
neither.
What then?
Nothing.
Master, can nothing speak? Shall I strike?
What wouldst thou strike?
Nothing.
Sarah, forbear.
Master, I pray thee, let me strike.
Villain, I said forbear. Friend? Valentine, a word?
My ears are stopped and cannot hear good news. So much of bad already hath possessed them.
Then in dumb silence will I bury mine. For they are harsh, untunable, and bad.
Is Sylvia dead?
No, Valentine.
No Valentine indeed for sacred Sylvia. Hath she forsworn me?
No, Valentine.
No Valentine, if Sylvia hath forsworn me. What is your news?
Sir, there is a proclamation. You banished.
That thou art banished! Oh, that's the news. From hence, from Sylvia, and from me, thy friend.
Oh, I have fed upon this woe already, and now excess of it will make me surfeit. Does Sylvia know that I am banished?
Aye. Aye, and she hath offered to the doom which stands unreversed in effectual force a sea of melting pearl, which some call tears. There at her father's churlish feet she tendered, with them, upon her knees, her humble self, wringing her hands whose whiteness so became them as if but now they waxed pale for woe. But neither bended knees, pure hands held up, sad sighs, deep groans, nor silver-shedding tears could penetrate her uncompassionate sire. But Valentine, if he be taken, must die. Besides, her intercession chafed him so when she for thy repeal was suppliant that to close prison he commanded her, with many bitter threats of biding.
No more, unless the next words that thou speakst have some malignant power upon my life. If so, I pray thee, breathe them in mine ear as ending anthem of my endless dolor.
Cease to lament, for that thou canst not help, and study help for that which thou lamentst. Here, if thou stay, thou canst not see thy love. Besides, thy staying will abridge thy life. Time is the nurse and breeder of all good. Hope is a lover's staff. Walk hence with that, and manage it against despairing thoughts. Thy letters may be here, though thou art hence, and being writ to me will be delivered even in the milk-white bosom of thy love. The time serves now not to expostulate. Come, I'll convey thee through the city gates, and ere I part with thee, confer at large on all that may concern thy love affairs. As thou lovest Sylvia, though not for thyself, regard thy danger, and along with me.
I pray thee, Launce, and if thou seest my boy, bid her make haste and meet me at the north gate.
Go, sir, find her out. Come, Valentine.
Oh, dear Sylvia. Hapless Valentine.
I think my master is kind of naive. I am but a fool at it. It's all one. If he be but one kind of knave, there's not a soul alive that knows me to be in love. Yet I am in love. But a team of horses could not pluck that from me. Nor who it is I love, yet 'tis a woman. But what woman I will not tell myself. Yet 'tis a milkmaid, yet not a maid, for she hath had gossips. Oh, she is a maid. She serves her master as maid and works for wages. She hath more qualities than a water spaniel, which is much in a bare Christian. Here is a catalogue of her condition. Imprimis, she can fetch and carry. Why? A horse can do no more. A horse cannot fetch, but only carry. Therefore, she's better than a jade. Item, she can milk. Oh, a sweet virtue in a maid with clean hands.
How now, Senor Lance? What news with your mastership?
My mastership, what is it, say?
Ah, your old vice still? Mistake the word? What news then in your paper?
The blackest news I ever heard.
Why, man, how black?
As black as ink.
Come, let me read them.
Oh, fie on thee, jolthead, thou canst not read.
Well, the liest I can. Come, fool, try me.
There, and St. Nicholas be thy spade.
Imprimis, she can milk.
Oh, aye, that she can.
Item, she brews good ale.
Thereof comes the proverb, blessings of your heart, you brew good ale.
Item, she can sew.
That's as much as to say, can she sew?
Item, she can knit.
What need a man care for a stock with a wench when she can knit him a stock?
Item, she can wash and scour.
Oh, a special virtue in a maid, for then she need not be washed and scoured.
Ooh, item, she can spin.
Then may I set the world on wheels when she can spin for a living.
Item, she hath many nameless virtues.
Well, that's as much as to say bastard virtues, which indeed know not their fathers, therefore have no name.
Here follow her vices.
Oh, close at the heel of her virtues.
Item, she is not to be kissed fasting in respect of her breath.
Well, that may be amended with a breakfast. Read on.
Item, she hath a sweet mouth.
Well, that makes amends for a sour breath.
Ooh, item.
Sleep.
Item, she doth talk in her sleep.
I see, you can't read, you got it memorized.
Oh.
No, it matters not if she talk, so long as she sleep not in her talk.
Well, item, she is slow in words.
Oh, villain that set this down amongst the vices. Oh, to be slow of words is a woman's only virtue. Out with it and place it chief virtue.
Item, she is proud.
Oh, out with that too. It was Eve's legacy and cannot be taken from her.
Oh, item, she hath no teeth.
Oh, no matter that, for I love crusts.
Oh, item, she is cursed.
No, the best thing is, she hath no teeth to bite.
Oh, item, she will often praise her liquor.
If it be good, she shall. If she will not, I will. Good things should be praised.
Item, she is too liberal.
Oh, of her words she cannot, for that is writ.
Oh.
She is slower. Of her purse she shall not, for that I'll keep shut. Of another thing, well, she may, and that cannot I help.
Item, she hath more hair than wit, and more faults than hairs, and more wealth than faults.
Oh, stop there!
Huh?
More wealth than faults, why, that makes the faults virtuous. I'll have her. And if it be a match, nothing is impossible.
Oh, what then?
Why then, I tell thee, thy master stays for thee at the north gate.
For me?
Aye, for thee. Who art thou? He has stayed for a better man than thee.
Well, and must I go to him?
Thou must run to him. Thou hast stayed so long that the going shall scarce serve the turn.
Oh, couldst not have told me sooner. A pox on your love letters. Oh.
Now will he be swinged for reading my letters? Unmannerly slave, to insert himself into secrets. I'll after to rejoice in the boy's correction.
Sir Thurio, fear not but that she will love you. Now Valentine is banished from her sight.
Since his exile, she hath despised me most, forsworn my company, and railed at me. Oh, I am desperate of obtaining her.
This weak impress of love is as a figure trenched in ice, which with an hour's heat dissolves to water and doth lose his form. A little time will melt her frozen thoughts, and worthless Valentine shall be forgot.
And now, Proteus, is your countryman, according to our proclamation, gone?
Gone, my good lord.
My daughter takes his going grievously.
A little time, my lord, will kill that grief.
So I believe. But Thurio thinks not so.
No!
Thou knowest how willingly I would effect the match between Sir Thurio and my daughter.
I do, my lord.
And also I think thou art not ignorant how she opposes him against my will.
Oh, she did, my lord, when Valentine was here.
Aye. And perversely she persevers so. What might we do to get the girl to forget the love of Valentine and love my friend?
The best way is to slander Valentine. With cowardice, falsehood, and poor descent, three things which women highly hold in hate.
Aye, but she will think that it is spoken hate.
Aye, if his enemy delivers it, therefore by circumstance it must be delivered by one whom she esteemeth as his friend.
Then you must undertake to slander him.
And that, my lord, I shall be loath to do. 'Tis a poor office for a gentleman, especially against his very friend.
Where your good word cannot advantage him, your slander never can endamage him. Therefore the office is indifferent, being entreated to it by your friend.
You have prevailed, my lord. If I can do it by aught that I can speak in his dispraise, she shall not long continue to love him. But say this weed her love from Valentine, it follows not that she will love Sir Thurio.
Therefore, as you unwind her love from him, lest it should ravel and be good to none, you must provide to bottom it on me. This must be done by praising me, as much as you in turn dispraise Sir Valentine.
And Proteus, we dare trust you in this time, because we know on Valentine's report you are already love's firm votary, and cannot soon revolt and change your mind. Upon this warrant shall you have access, where you with Sylvia may confer at large. For she is lumpish, heavy, melancholy, and for your friend's sake will be glad of you, where you may temper her by your persuasion to hate young Valentine and love my friend.
As much as I can do, I will effect. But you, Sir Thurio, are not sharp enough. You must lay lime to tangle her desires by wailful sonnets whose composed rhyme should be full fraught with serviceable vows.
Aye, such is the force of heaven-bred poetry.
Say that upon the altar of her beauty you sacrifice your tears, your sighs, your heart. Write till your ink be dry, and with your tears moist it again, and frame some feeling line that may discover such integrity. For Orpheus's lute was strung with poet's sinews, whose golden touch could soften steel and stones, make tigers tame, and huge leviathans forsake unsounded deeps to dance on sand. After your dire lamenting elegies. Visit by night your lady's chamber window with some sweet consort. To their instruments tune a deploring song. The night's dead silence will well become such sweet complaining grievance. This, or nothing else, will inherit her.
This discipline shows thou hast been in love.
And thy advice this night I'll put into practice. Therefore, Sir Proteus, my direction giver, let us into the city to find some gentlemen well skilled in music. I have a sonnet that will serve the turn to put the onset to thy good advice.
About it, gentlemen. We'll await upon your grace until after supper, and afterward determine our proceedings.
Even now, about it, I will pardon you.
Whoa, fellas! Stand fast! I see travelers.
Oh! If there be 10, shrink not, but down with us!
Hide!
Peace!
Stand still! Throw such you have about you. If not, we'll make you sit and rifle you.
Sir, we are undone! These are the villains that all the travelers do! Speak about!
But my friends,
That's not so, sir. We are your enemies.
Why? Come then. Me?
Yep.
Care to try again? Or perhaps you'd like to join? Come. Another round?
I'm for you, lad.
Every time. Come, let's not fight. Let us be friends. Peace. We will hear him.
Aye, by my beard where we fought, he is the proper man.
Then know that I have little wealth to lose. A man I am, crossed with adversity. My riches are but these poor habiliments, of which, if you should disfurnish me, you take the sum and substance that I have.
Whither travel you?
To Verona.
Whence came you?
From Milan.
Have you long sojourned there?
Some 16 months. Longer might have stayed if crooked fortune had not thwarted me.
What? Were you banished then?
I was.
Ooh. For what offense?
For the love of a lady.
Were you banished for so small a fault?
I was.
Have you the tongues?
My youthful travel therein made me happy, or else I often had been miserable.
By the bare scalp of Robin Hood's fat friar. This fellow our king for our wild faction.
I will have him. Sirs, a word.
Sir, be one of them. Why, it is an honorable kind of thievery.
Peace, villain.
No, sir, that some of us are gentlemen. Such is the fury of ungoverned youth thrust from the company of lawful men. Myself was banished from Verona for practicing to steal away a lady, an heir and near allied unto the Duke.
And I from Mantua, for a gentleman who in my mood I stabbed under the heart.
And I for such like crimes as these, but to the purpose. For we cite our faults that they may excuse our lawless lives, and seeing that you are beautified and of goodly shape, and by your own report, a linguist, and a man of such perfection as we in our need much do want.
Indeed! Because you are a gentleman, therefore above the rest we parlay to you. Are you content to be our general, to make a virtue of necessity and live as we do in this wilderness?
What sayest thou? Wilt thou be of our consort? Say aye and be captain of us all. will do thee homage and be ruled by thee. Love thee as our commander and our king.
But
If thou scorn our courtesy, thou diest.
Thou shalt not live to brag what we have offered.
I take your offer and will live with you.
Ah!
Provided that you do no outrages on innocent women or poor passengers.
Nay, we detest such vile and base practices. Come, go with us. We'll bring thee to our cruise and show thee all the treasures we have got, which, with ourselves, all rest at thy dispose.
Oh, a song!
Oh, yes!
Celebrate the song!
I love a song!
Ragazzi!
We are men who work at night. You might think we like to fight, but it gives us such a fright that we always run away. We often like to steal just to get a decent meal when the danger gets too real. Yeah, we always run away. We love our wine and drink it quite religiously. We love our wine. Barbera is the best. Hey, we love our wine. Salute nostri amici. We love our wine. In vino we are blessed. We are men who hide in caves, so we never will be slaves. They may chase us to our graves. We will always run away.
Though we often try to hide, it might be our skill and pride. We let prudence be our guide.
And we always run away. And we love our wine and drink it quite religiously. We love our wine. Chianti is the best. Hey, we love our wine. Salute nostri amici. We love our wine. In vino we are blessed. Hey!
Come!
Already have I been false to Valentine, and now I must be as unjust to Thurio. Under color of commending him, I have access to my love. But Sylvia is too fair, too true, too holy to be corrupted by my worthless gifts. When I protest true loyalty, she twits me with my falsehood to my friend. When to her beauty I commend my vows, she bids me think on how I have been forsworn by breaking faith with Julia, whom I love. And notwithstanding all her sudden quips, the least whereof would quell a lover's hope, yet spaniel-like, the more she spurns my love, the more it grows and fawneth on her still. But here comes Sir Thurio. Now we must to her window and bring some evening music to her ear.
How now, Sir Proteus, are you crept before us?
Aye, gentle Thurio, for you know that love will creep in service where it cannot go.
Aye, but I hope, sir, that you love not here.
Sir, but I do, or else I would be hence.
Oh, Sylvia!
Aye, Sylvia. For your sake?
Oh, I thank you for yours. Oh, now, gentlemen, let's tune. Oh, and to it, lustily a while.
We'll have you, Mary. I'll bring you where you shall hear music and see the gentleman that you asked for.
But shall I hear his speech?
Aye, that you shall.
That will do, sis.
Hark, hark.
Is he among these?
Aye, but peace. Let's hear it.
Who is Sylvia? What is she? That all our swains commend her. Holy, fair, and wise is she. The heavens such grace did lend her, that she might admired me. Is she kind as she is fair, or beauty lives with kindness? Love doth to her eyes repair, to help him of his blindness, and being helped inhabits there. Then to Sylvia let us sing, that Sylvia is excelling. She
Mistake, the musician likes me not. He plays false, father. Not so, but yet so false, it grieves my very heartstrings. Why, I would that I were deaf, it makes me to have a slow heart. Not a whit, but a jar so. I would always have one play but one thing. But oh, where is Mom? Peace, stand aside, the company parts.
Oh! Sir Thurio, fear not you. I will so plead that you will say my cunning drift excels.
Well, where meet we?
At St. Gregory's Well.
Oh, there, well.
Madam, good even to your ladyship.
Who is he that spake?
One lady, if you knew his pure heart's truth, you would quickly learn to know him by his voice.
Sir Proteus, as I take it?
Sir Proteus, gentle lady, and your servant,
What's your will?
that I may compass yours.
You have your wish. My will is even this, that presently you hie you home to bed. Thou subtle, perjured, false, disloyal man. Think'st thou I am so shallow, so conceited to be seduced by thy flattery, which has deceived so many with thy vows? Return, return and make thy love amends. For me, by this pale queen of night, I swear I despise thee for thy wrongful suit, and by intend to chide myself even now for the time I spend in talking to thee.
I grant, sweet love, that I did love a lady, but she is dead.
'Twere false if I should speak it, for I am sure she is not buried.
Say that she be. Yet Valentine, thy friend, survives, to whom thyself art witness I am betrothed. And art thou not ashamed to wrong him with thy importunacy?
I likewise hear that Valentine is dead.
And so suppose am I, for in his grave assure thyself my love is buried.
Sweet lady, let me rake it from the earth.
Go to thy lady's grave and call hers thence, or at the least, in her sepulchre, thine.
He heard not that. Oh, will you go?
By my halidom, I was fast asleep.
Where lies Sir Proteus?
Mary, at my house. Trust me, I think 'tis almost day.
Not so, but 'tis the longest night that e'er I watched, and the heaviest.
This is the hour that Sylvia entreated me to call to know her mind. It was a matter of great importance she'd employ me in. Madam! Madam!
Who calls?
Your servant and your friend want to attend your ladyship's command.
Sir Eglamour, 1,000 times good morrow.
As many, worthy lady, yourself. According to your ladyship's impost, I am thus early come to know what service it is your pleasure to command me in.
O Eglamour, thou art a gentleman. Think not I flatter, for I swear I do not. Valiant, wise, remorseful, well accomplished. Thou art not ignorant what dear good would I bear unto the banished Valentine, nor how my father would enforce me to marry vain Thurio, whom my very soul abhors. Thyself hath loved, and I have heard thee say that no grief did ever come so near thy heart as when thy lady and thy true love died, upon whose grave thou vowedst pure chastity. Eglamour,
I would to Valentine to Mantua, where I hear he makes abode, and for the ways are dangerous to pass, I do desire thy worthy company, upon whose faith and honor I repose. Urge not my father's anger, Eglamour, but think upon my grief, a lady's grief, and the justice of my flying hence to save me from a most unholy match. I do desire thee, even from a heart as full of sorrows as a sea of sands, to bear me company and go with me. If not, to hide what I have said to thee, so that I may venture to depart alone.
Madam, I pity much your grievances, which, since I know they are virtuously placed, I give consent to go along with you, reckoning as little what betideth me, as much as I wish all good befortune you. When shall we go?
This evening coming,
Where shall I meet you?
at Friar Patrick's cell, where I intend holy confession.
I will not fail your ladyship. Good morrow, gentle lady.
Good morrow, kind Sir Eglamour.
When a manservant treats him like a cur, goes hard. One that I raised of a puppy. One that I saved from drowning when 3 or 4 of his blind brothers and sisters went to it. Yeah. I was sent to deliver him as a present to Madame Sylvia from my master. No sooner did I come to the dining chamber, but he makes me to a trencher and steals a capon's leg. It is a foul thing when a cur cannot keep himself in all company. No. If I had not more wit than him to take upon me the faults that he did, sure, he had been executed for it. Sure as I live, he had suffered for it. Now, you shall judge. He makes me to the company of 3 or 4 gentlemen-like dogs under the Duke's table. He had not been there, bless them all, a pissing while, but the whole room smelt him. Out with the cur, cried one. Whip him out, says another. What dog is that, says a third. Hang him up, says the Duke. I, having been acquainted with the smell, knew it was crab. And it makes me to the fellow what whips the dogs. Friend, quoth I, you mean to whip the dog? Aye, marry, do I, quoth he. Friend, you do him all the more wrong, 'twas I did the thing you wanted. He makes me no more ado, but whips me out of the room. What master would do this for his servant? Nay, I have sat in the stocks for puddings he had stolen, else he had been executed for it. I have stood in the pillories for geese he had killed, else he had been executed. Thou thinkst not of this now. Oh, you having another scene stealer here? All right. Thou thinkst not of this now, do you? Nay. I remember the trick you played on me when I took my leave of Madame Sylvia. Did I not bid thee? Mark me still, and do as I do. When didst thou see me heave up my leg and make water against a gentlewoman's farthingale? Thou never saw me do that, did you now?
Thy name? Oh, I like thee well, and will employ thee in some service presently.
In what you please, I'll do what I can.
I hope thou wilt. How now, you whoreson peasants? Where have you been these 2 days loitering?
Mary, I was delivering unto Lady Sylvia the dog you bade me.
And what What says she to my little jewel?
She says he's a cur, and that currish thanks is all such a gift deserves.
But she received my dog.
No, and here have I brought him back again.
What? Didst thou offer her this? From me?
Aye, the other squirrel was stolen from me by the hangman's boys in the marketplace. But then I gave her mine own, who is a dog 10 times yours, and therefore the gift the greater.
Get thee hence. And find my dog again, or ne'er return again unto my sight. Away, I say! Away! Stay here! A knave that's still an end sets me to shame. Sebastian, I have entertained thee partly that I have need of such a youth that can with some discretion do my business, for 'tis no trusting to yon foolish lout, but chiefly for thy face and thy behavior, which if my augury deceive me not, witness good bringing up, fortune, and truth. Therefore knowest thou, for this I entertain thee. Go presently and take this ring with thee. Deliver it to Madam Sylvia. She loved me well, delivered it to me.
It seems you loved not her, to leave her token. She is dead, belike?
Not so, I think she lives.
Alas!
Why dost thou cry, alas?
I cannot choose but pity her.
Wherefore shouldst thou pity her?
Because methinks that she loved you as well as you do love your lady Sylvia. She dreams on him that has forgot her love. You dote on her that cares not for your love. 'Tis pity love should be so contrary, and thinking on it makes me cry. Alas!
Well, give her that ring, and therewithal this letter. Your errand done, hie home into my chamber, where you shall find me sad and solitary.
How many women would do such a message? Alas, poor Proteus, thou hast entertained a fox to be the shepherd of thy lambs. Alas, poor fool, why do I pity him that with his very heart despiseth me? Because he loves her, he despiseth me. Because I love him, I must pity him. This ring I gave him when he parted from me to bind him to remember my goodwill, and now am I, unhappy messenger, to plead for that which I would not obtain, to carry that which I would have refused, to praise his faith, which I would have dispraised. I am my master's true confirmed love, but cannot be true servant to my master unless I prove false traitor to myself. Yet I will woo for him, but yet so coldly as heaven it knows I would not have him speed. Gentlewoman, good day. I pray you be my mean to bring me where to speak with Madam Sylvia.
What would you with her if that I be she?
If you be she, madam, I do entreat your patience to hear me speak a message I am sent on.
From whom?
From my master, Sir Proteus. Madam, please you peruse this letter. Pardon me, madam, I have unadvised delivered you a paper I should not. This is the letter for your ladyship.
I pray thee, let me look on that again.
Oh, it may not be, good madam, pardon me. There. Hold. I will not look upon your master's lines. I know they are stuffed with protestations and full of newfound oaths, which he will break as easily as I do tear this paper. Madam, he sends your ladyship this ring. The more shame for him that he sends it me, for I have heard him say 1,000 times his Julia gave it him at his departure. Though his false finger have profaned the ring, mine shall not do his Julia so much wrong.
She thanks you.
What sayest thou?
I thank you, madam, that you tender her. Poor gentlewoman, my master wrongs her much. Dost thou know her?
Almost as well as I do know myself.
To think upon her woes, I do protest that I have wept 100 several times.
Belike she thinks that Proteus hath forsook her.
I think she doth, and that's her cause of sorrow.
Is she not passing fair?
She hath been fairer, madam, than she is.
How tall is she?
About my stature.
For at Pentecost, when all our pageants of delight were played, our youth got me to play the woman's part, and I was trimmed in Madame Julia's gown, which served me as fit by all men's judgment, as if the gown had been made for me. Therefore I know she is about my height.
And at that time I made her weep a good, for I did play a lamentable part, which I so lively acted with my tears that my poor mistress, moved therewithal, wept bitterly, and would I might be dead if I in thought felt not her very sorrow.
She is beholding to thee, gentle youth. Alas, poor lady, desolate and left. I weep myself to think upon thy words. Here, youth, there is my purse. I give it thee for thy sweet mistress's sake, because thou lovest her. Farewell.
And she shall thank you for it if e'er you meet her. A virtuous gentlewoman, mild and beautiful. I hope my master's suit will be but cold. Alas, how love can trifle with itself. What should it be that he respects in her, but I can make respective in myself? Oh, if this fond love were not a blinded god.
The sun begins to gild the western sky, and now is about the hour that Sylvia at Friar Patrick's house should meet me. She will not fail, for lovers break not hours, unless it is come before their time, so much they spur their expedition. See where she comes. Lady, a happy evening.
Amen, amen. Go on, good Eglamour. Out at the postern by the abbey wall, I fear I am attended by some spies.
Fear not. The forest is not 3 leagues off. Should we recover that, we'll be sure enough.
What says Sylvia to my suit?
Oh, sir, I find her milder than she was, and yet she takes exceptions at your person.
Oh, what? That my leg is too long?
No, that it is too little.
Oh. Why, then I'll wear a boot to make it somewhat rounder.
But love will not be spurred to what it loathes.
What says she to my discourse?
Ill. When you talk of war.
Oh, but well when I talk of love and peace.
But better indeed when you hold your peace.
What says she to my valor?
No, sir, she makes no doubt of that.
She needs not when she knows it cowardice.
What says she to my birth?
That you are well derived.
True, from a gentleman to a fool.
Considers she my possession?
Oh, aye, and pities them.
What? Wherefore?
That such an ass should own them.
Oh.
Here comes the Duke.
How now, Sir Proteus? How now, Thurio? Which of you saw Eglamour of late?
Oh, not I.
Nor I. Saw you my daughter?
Neither.
Well, then she's fled unto that peasant Valentine. And Eglamour is in her company. 'Tis true. For Friar Lawrence met them both as he in penance wandered through the forest. Him he knew well, and guessed that it was she. But being masked, he was not sure of it. Besides, she did intend confession at Patrick's cell this evening,
and there she was not. These likelihoods confirm her flight from hence. Therefore, I pray you stand not to discourse, but mount you presently, and meet with me upon the rising of the mountain foot that leads toward Mantua, whither they are fled.
Ha!
Dispatch, sweet gentlemen, and follow me.
This it is to be a peevish girl that flies her fortune when it follows her. I'll after her, but more to be revenged on Eglamour than for the love of reckless Sylvia.
And I'll follow more for Sylvia's love than for hate of Eglamour that goes with her.
And I will follow, more to cross that love than hate for Sylvia that is gone for love.
Come! Come, have patience! We must bring you to our captain.
1,000 more mischances than this one have learned me how to brook this patient.
Come away!
Go with her to the west end of the wood. There is our captain. The thicket is beset. Go!
Valentine, this I endure for thee.
How use doth breed a habit in a man? This shadowy desert, unfrequented woods, I better brook than flourishing peopled towns. Why, here can I be alone, unseen of any, and the nightingale's complaining notes tune my distresses and record my woes. Thou that dost inhabit in my breast, leave not the mansion so long tenantless, lest growing ruinous the building fall, and leave no memory of what it was. Repair me with thy presence, Sylvia, thou gentle nymph. Cherish thy forlorn swain. What hallowing and what stir is this today? These, my mates, that make their wills their law, have some unhappy traveler in chase. They love me well, yet I have much to do to keep them from uncivil outrages. Well, withdraw thee, Valentine. Who comes here?
Madam, this service I have done for you, though you respect not aught your servant doth, to hazard life and rescue you from these men that would have forced your honor and your love. Vouchsafe me for my reward but one fair look. Oh, a smaller boon than this I cannot beg, and less than this I am sure you cannot give.
How like a dream is this I see and hear. Love, lend me patience to forbear a while.
Oh, miserable, unhappy that I am.
Unhappy were you, madam, ere I came. By my coming, I have made you happy.
By thy approach thou makest me most unhappy. And me when he approaches to your presence. Had I been seized by a hungry lion, I would have been a breakfast to the beast rather than have false Proteus rescue me. Oh, heaven be judge how I love Valentine, whose life's as tender to me as my soul and full as much for more there cannot be. I do detest false perjured Proteus. Therefore be gone. Solicit me no more.
What dangerous action stood it next to death? Would I not undertake for one calm look? Oh, 'tis a curse in love, and still approved, where women cannot love where they're beloved.
When Proteus cannot love where he's beloved. Read over Julia's heart, thy first best love, for whose dear sake thou didst then rend thy faith into 1,000 oaths, and all those oaths descended into perjury to love me. Thou hast no faith left, thou counterfeit to thy true friend.
In love, who respects friend?
All men but Proteus.
Nay, if the gentle spirit of moving words can in no way change you to a milder form, I'll woo you like a soldier, at arm's end.
Oh, heaven, no!
Ruffian! Come not nearer that I love! Thou friend of an ill fashion!
Valentine?
Ah! Thou common friend! That's without faith or love, for such is a friend now. Treacherous man, thou hast beguiled my hopes, not but mine eye could have persuaded me now. I dare not say I have one friend alive. Thou wouldst disprove me. Who should be trusted when one's right hand is perjured to the bosom Proteus? I am sorry I must never trust thee more, but count the world a stranger for thy sake. The private wound is deepest. Oh, time! Most accursed! Mongst all foes, that a friend should be the worst. My shame and guilt confounds me. Forgive me, Valentine. If hearty sorrow be sufficient ransom for offense, I tender it here. I do as truly suffer as e'er I did commit.
No!
Then I am paid. Who by repentance is not satisfied is not of heaven nor earth, for these are pleased. By penitence, the Eternal's wrath is appeased. And that my love may appear plain and free, all that is mine in Sylvia, I wish for thee.
Oh, me.
Look to the boy. Oh, my boy. Boy, Wag, how now? What's the matter? Look up. Speak.
Oh, good sir, my master charged me to deliver a ring to Madam Sylvia, which out of my neglect was never done.
Where is that ring, boy?
Here 'tis, this is it.
Now, let me see. Why, this is the ring I gave to Julia.
Oh, cry you mercy, sir, I have mistook. This is the ring you sent to Sylvia.
And how camest thou by this ring? In my depart I gave it unto Julia.
And Julia herself did give it me. And Julia herself hath brought it hither.
How? Julia?
Behold her, that gave aim to all thy oaths, and entertained them deeply in her heart. How oft hast thou with perjury cleft the root? O Proteus, let this habit make thee blush. Be thou ashamed that I have took upon me such an immodest raiment. If shame live in a disguise of love, it is the lesser blot modesty finds. Women to change their shape, and men their minds.
And men their minds. 'Tis true. Oh, heaven were man but constant, he were perfect. And one error fills him with faults, makes him run through all the sins. Inconstancy falls off ere it begins. What is in Sylvia's face, but I may spy more fresh in Julia, with a constant eye.
Come, come. A hand from either. Let me be blessed to make this happy close. And 'twere pity two such friends should be long foes.
Bear witness, heaven. I have my wish. Forever.
And I mine.
Forbear! No! Forbear! I say! It is my lord the Duke. Your grace is welcome to a man disgraced, banished Valentine.
Sir Valentine.
But yonder Sylvia, and Sylvia's mine.
Hurry up, give back, or else embrace thy death. Come not within the measure of my wrath. Do not name Sylvia thine. I dare thee, but to breathe upon my love.
Sir Valentine, I care not for her. I hold him but a fool who would endanger his body for a girl who loves him not. I care not for her and take her not, therefore she is thine.
The more degenerate and base art thou, to make such means for her as thou hast done, and leave her on such slight conditions. Now, by the spirit of my ancestors, I do applaud thy spirit, Valentine, and think thee worthy of an empress' love. Know then, I here forget all former griefs, cancel all grudge, repeal thee home again, plead a new state in thy unrivaled merit, to which I thus subscribe. Sir Valentine, thou art a gentleman and well derived. Take thou thy Sylvia, for thou hast deserved her.
I thank your grace. The gift hath made me happy. I now beseech you, for your daughter's sake, to grant one boon that I shall ask of you.
I grant it for thine own, whate'er it be.
Well, these banished men that I have kept withal are men endued with worthy qualities. Forgive them. Forgive them what they have committed here, and let them be recalled from their exile. They are reformed, civil, full of good, and fit for great employment, worthy lord.
Thou hast prevailed. I pardon them and thee. Come, let us go. We will conclude all jars with triumphs, mirth, and rare solemnity.
And as we walk along, I dare be bold with our discourse, to make your grace to smile. What think you of this page, my lord?
I think the boy hath grace in him. He blushes.
I warrant, my lord, more grace than boy.
What mean you by that saying?
Please you, I'll tell you as we pass along that you will wonder what hath fortuned. Come, Proteus. 'Tis your penance but to hear the story of your loves discovered. That done, our day of marriage shall be yours. One feast, one house, one mutual happiness. Come. Come, all! Let us have a dance!
Oh, I love a dance!
To a journey's end, with lovers meeting.
big round of applause for our band. And the songs that you heard in the incidental music was written by them. So well. Ladies and gentlemen, did you enjoy the show? Excellent. Well then, please go tell all your friends and family and work colleagues to come and see us next weekend. We're here on Saturday, Sunday, and Labor Day Monday. We'd love to see them, okay? So please do tell them about us. This is the 21st year of the Curtain Theater doing free Shakespeare here in this wonderful park. And with your help, we'll continue to do that. Because although we don't charge, we have a lot of costs for sets and costumes. Look at the costume on this guy. Yeah, you know, they all cost money, and we depend on you to keep this theater company going. So please, please, when I'm finished, you're going to see people with big smiles and baskets coming around. Please give us anything you can to help us so we can be here again next year.
Let's hear it for our choreographer and director, Stephen Beecroft.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. On behalf of all of us in the Curtain Theater, we bid you adieu. Adieu.